Welcome to the realm of magic and mystery, classic horror and sci-fi. You are now entering the House of the Unusual podcast with your hosts, Eddie and Joe.
Welcome all you cool ghouls and friendly fiends to the House of the Unusual podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pavlansky. With me as always is the maestro of mail order mysteries, the one, the only, Eddie Guevara. We also have with us horror magician extraordinaire, Chuck Caputo. Gentlemen, how's it going?
All right, pretty good.
Fantastic here, Joe. Okay.
Awesome. So we've had a little bit of technical difficulties to start off, but we got through it and we're recording. So far everything's going good. Not sure if what was going on, but we managed to work through it. So hey, before we get started here, man, real quick, I'm just going to go through a list of our friends of the podcast, some of the places that you could go if you're looking for any last-minute Christmas gifts. These are some great sites to check out. So we're going to start off with the sea-monkeys.com for all your underwater sea monkey needs. Head over there, check them out. They're always shipping tons of great products on there. So even if you've already have some sea monkeys, there's still stuff on there like cards, posters, t-shirts, and some little upgrades you could add to your aquarium. So definitely check them out. Also over at 1878press.com, that's 1878press.com. Our buddy Dave Haversat has a great selection of magic and mentalist books to choose from. Some great prices. A lot of them are on sale. So definitely check them out and get them in time for Christmas. Also, check out stupidmagazine.com, and that's STOOPID, comicsmagazine.com. Hey, and we've been promoting this, for a long time now, and it's a great black and white magazine, kind of a mix between Mad, Cracked, and Far Side, all rolled into one, and it's absolutely hilarious, man, with some great artwork and some great writing. So they're on issue number 5 now. There's 6 issues total. They started out with number 0, so definitely check them out. If you haven't got any, grab all 6 copies. You will not be disappointed. We've all got our copies and are absolutely loving them. Also, the new issue of Scary Monsters magazine is out, issue number 124, the Chilly Thrillers and Frosty Frights issue. If you're a subscriber, if you order from online, there is a 1951 cover for The Thing. And if you get it at the store, you'll get the 1982 cover. Both of them are by Scott Jackson, and they're absolutely fantastic. And you can find those over at mymoviemonsters.com. All right, gentlemen. So what's going on? Real quick, also, before I forget, is guys out there, check us out on YouTube, man. Eddie and Chuck are posting some great videos on the House of the Unusual. You'll see our site. Head over to there, subscribe to our channel, like the videos, hit that little bell so you get the notifications when some go up. Eddie's putting up tons of them a week. Chuck's doing a ton of videos as well, and hopefully this week or next week I'll get a video or two up there. Things have been crazy around this holiday season, but every week, it seems like almost every day, there's some new videos, and they're absolutely fantastic. So subscribe to the channel, like our videos, comment, do all that good stuff. And also check us out at houseoftheunusual.com. That is our flagship website there. We have a great forum site that you could join for free. A lot of good conversations going on. People are posting some awesome photos from pieces of their collection, which are absolutely fantastic. So definitely check that out. So, all right, gentlemen, we are going to get into it today. We have, it's the holiday is right around the corner. Next week, when we record, we are going to talk about some past Christmas memories, get a little nostalgic on you guys. But this week, we're going to talk about some of our favorite Christmas movies, some of our favorite Christmas TV shows, maybe some rare shorts. And you know what? I've got some videos and some titles in here that are guaranteed to make you go, I've never heard of that before. So, I mean, there's some real rare ones and some real, I guess I could say downright creepy. And I'll get a little bit more into them and let you guys know about them, the title and the year, so that way you could search them. Most of them are all public domain that I'll be talking about, so you could find them on YouTube or Internet Archive, stuff like that. And I'll give you a good place to go to grab a DVD of a whole collection of some rare vintage Christmas shorts. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our buddy Chuck Caputo, horror magician extraordinaire, and see what's new with him. Chuck, what's up?
Hey, all right, man. Pretty good. It's very busy. I mean, this is the busiest time of the year for magic, and I tell you what, it's been nonstop. I have it'll start back up again Friday. I have two shows Friday, two Saturday, and two Sunday. It's been crazy, and
Oh, wow.
I got a new bunny rabbit. He's a mini Rex, and I really don't have time to break him in. It's just like showtime, man. So there's really not much you can do, But and my wife has really gotten attached to him, so she's putting up trouble. She doesn't really want me to use him in the act. But I mean, but I've been using some form of live animals for the last 35 years or so. So I can't go and do a show without a bunny or a bird. So I'm just gonna take him and use him in the act. He's very calm. He's a very sweet little Rex bunny rabbit. He's about 3 pounds, I'd say, somewhere around there.
Did you give him a name yet?
Yeah, my wife just named him Dutch. Yeah, I don't know.
Dutch,
why.
nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of cute. Hey, the one thing I wanted to mention, Joe, in an upcoming Chuck's Corner, I actually did a spoof on some movie magic. I think you'll get a kick out of it. One of the things is called 14 Ghosts instead of 13 Ghosts. I said somewhere along the way we must have picked up a ghost somewhere. So I did some magic with that. The movie Houdini, I did a little thing with Houdini, like a couple magic tricks. And the Phantom of the Opera, too, like a rose that changes color and so forth. So I think you'll get a kick out of that Chuck's Corner coming up. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's slated to be on in the beginning of January. I think, like, you'll have to check. Eddie has these all slated to go on like at midnight every Friday. So I think you'll get a kick out of that one.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. And everyone out there, you guys turn into our YouTube channel again at House of the Unusual, and you subscribe to it and get the notifications, because they'll come on there as a premiere, and it will tell you the date. So definitely don't miss us out on there. There's a ton of great videos. And Chuck, all your videos are fantastic. They're short, they're sweet, and they're just absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So what kind of shows do you got coming up? Where are you mostly performing at this time of year?
Mostly libraries, different kids functions, a lot of kids shows right now. I got a couple walkarounds, which are really easy for adults coming up too, like an hour, maybe 2 hours. And that goes really quick. You don't really bring a lot with you. I bring like a little thing that clips around my waist and one little briefcase. And that's the close-up stuff. It's basically cards, coins, sponge balls, like invisible thread and things of that nature.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's really neat, man. I wish most of my shows were just close-up magic, because you don't bring hardly anything, and you go from table to table, and you reset, you hit the next table, and before you know it, 1 hour goes by like in a blink of an eye, man.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Hey, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but have you ever performed at, or do you get any requests for weddings?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, close-up magic. Yeah, you know what, close-up magic, it's during the reception. Yeah, throughout the years, I've done quite a few of them actually, and yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what, and you have to dress up, which I always do. I always wear some form of a tux jacket, not necessarily the bow tie all the time, but if you do a wedding, yeah, you really have to fit in really well. That's during the reception, and it's going from table to table. And when I've done that, I've actually performed with other entertainers. There was a strolling violinist. He would go from table to table playing the violin and so forth, and close-up magic goes actually very, very well at the reception.
Oh, excellent. Well, that's good to hear. It's good to hear you're busy. And I know we talked to our buddy Michael Mesmer last episode. He's also doing a lot of shows too, and has a lot of upcoming shows. So it's nice to see everything kind of getting back to normal, and there's still people out there that are, still
absolutely
having a need for this, magic and mentalism. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, thank God. You know what? I am concerned with this new variant that's coming out. Though, I try to keep my distance as best as I can. But it's just something that you still have to work. So you kind of just play it by ear. What are you going to do?
Kind of like what they told us in the Army. You have to adapt and overcome.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You put it in God's hands. You know what I mean? And there's really nothing I can do about it. I am vaccinated. Some people are, some people aren't. We have 2 sons, and my older boy is not vaccinated. And so it's just a matter of opinion. And what are you going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, that's good to hear. So we're going to turn it over to the maestro of mail order mysteries right now and see what's going on his end and what's new.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for the intro. Joe, right now I am trying to finish today the Magic set. It's going to be a limited edition of only 8 sets. I'm not going to put out any more. Chuck's made them hen. In fact, Chuck spent 48 hours just doing one trick. And his wife was like, "Are you going to come to sleep, honey?" He goes, "I cannot sleep until I'm done." Okay. So he made Newton, if I'm correct, I think it was Sir Isaac Newton when he was doing his theory of what was it? The theory of Isaac Newton, the theory of
Gravity.
gravity, right? The theory, oh my gosh, I couldn't get the word out. The theory of gravity. I think he spent like 6 days in his room and he wouldn't even come out to eat. Chuck did the same thing for this Magic set. And it's phenomenal. It's going to be a nice set. It has 10 tricks plus Chuck's course inside, and then it has a special Houdini trick. I'm not going to expose what it does or anything, but it's going to be included. They're free with the 10 trick Magic set. The actual price will be calculated approximately maybe tonight to tomorrow. I expect it to hit the website on Friday morning. Having said that, I mean, I'm very excited about it. It's taken me some crazy time. I mean, I looked in the mirror the other day and I saw the Grinch. And I said, "Ooh, that's not a good thing when I'm looking like the Grinch, you know?" And the worst part is you could tell because as you get older, you know, when you're big and young, you're strong, you got the muscles, you weight lift, and as you go, the muscles kind of fall down to the belly area and you get thin on top, and you know it's beginning to fit the Grinch a little bit, and it's not a good thing, you know.
Isn't that the truth? Wow.
I mean, and no matter what you do, you realize and you go, man, gravity is bad. And so Sir Isaac Newton, that's one thing I didn't like about him. He explained gravity, and gravity just doesn't do justice to us people. But anyway, no, having said that, it's been exciting. I'm dying to see put it out. I know there's already 3 sets pre-sold. So the obviously the company, House of the Unusual, is going to stay with 1 set. And that's it. That's going to be for our own personal collection. But the rest are all going out. And once they're sold, they're not going to be made again. It's very hard for Chuck. He takes a lot of time doing this, a lot of energy. And I hope that whoever does get it, they can really enjoy it. It's a professional Magic set, well done, handcrafted by Chuck. Every piece of it was handcrafted. And of course, there's a certain individual in the cover. There's a certain individual in the instruction book that you can tell he was scared, man. And this guy's scare comes from hell itself, you know. And I think you'll know who the person is once you see him. But the whole thing is, you know what, the set is phenomenal, and that's what I'm up to, Joe. Just completing the set.
Yeah, cool. And you sent me the instructions the other day, and I tell you what, they're looking fantastic. The wording, the photos in it, how it's laid out, it looks really good. There's no fluff to it. It's straight. It's to the point, and it'll really get someone that's doesn't know anything about it like me. As I'm reading, I said, this don't look that hard. A few practices, read it over, watch some videos. It's definitely something that's doable. So, Chuck, would I be right in saying that even if somebody's out there that's, kind of intimidated by Magic, could this be something that they could do, or is this more for like the seasoned magician?
No, you know what? Never be intimidated by Magic, because you never know what you can do until you try. You know what? And just like you said, Eddie put together a fantastic booklet, and it goes step by step with the directions. And there's also a link to a video tutorial of me demonstrating it step by step. So you know what? You really can't go wrong. And the thing I like to stress is this is a totally different Magic kit, unlike any that has been on the market. You know what? It's all bizarre, strange, scary, spooky stuff. I mean, like it's a monkey's paw that divines something. There's a close up shrunken head that floats behind a cloth. Pillars of Hercules. I mean, the zombie with a brain. I mean, some really, really, really cool stuff, And the label is absolutely fantastic on here, which Eddie put a lot of work into it. And I know he's packaging everything very well. too, because he does excel in that particular category, So yeah, what the thing that's amazing to me, Joe, is that I can remember all these routines when I can't even really remember what I ate for breakfast.
But I tell you what, Chuck, and like I said, I don't really get into magic too much. That's really not my thing. Eddie sent me some of the the magic things that you guys have put together, and I've looked at them and played around with them. But like magic kind of not my thing. But I'm a horror fanatic, a horror collector,
right.
And what? Even as a collector, I want this set just to add to my collection, because there's so many cool things in it, and for it to be homemade, especially coming from you, I know the quality of work that you do, and I've seen your quality of work, and it's it is definitely a must-have. So even if someone's out there that's not into magic or something per se, but as a horror collector, definitely grab these, and you never know where it's going to lead. I'm telling you, you're going to look at it and you're going to start really getting into it. So, like Chuck said, don't be, put off by it if you don't know magic or anything, because a lot of people have started off, their careers and end up being, at one point in time, you didn't know anything about what you were getting into, and you have to learn it. And then 40 years later, you look back and you're like, oh, that's a breeze.
Yeah, you know what exactly? You know what a person will get out of magic, exactly what you put into it. I mean, the best thing to do is if you're somewhat serious about it, sit down and study it. Study the moves. And like I said, there's an online tutorial, of me going through step by step, and I give a lot of pointers, things will actually help you with the routines also, and the booklet itself. So yeah, you really can't go wrong, man. I mean, I tell you what, I wish I would have had something like this when I was a kid. I mean, it would have been absolutely perfect for me.
Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to see the final product. I'm really excited for it. So, yeah, I mean, hats off to both of you guys. I know you guys have both been putting in a lot of work, and I wanted to ask Chuck, when you're developing these products, like how much time what's like the most time that you would put into one without getting any sleep?
Yeah, you know what? Certain things take longer than others. I mean, there's been times, where I'm thinking of the different routines, and I'm thinking of the actual customer too. I'm keeping them in mind to make it as simple for them. You know what? Like I could make it much more difficult for myself, but I'm keeping the person that would actually buy this in mind also. So it's like a double-edged type of thing here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there are certain things, and then the construction of the prop itself, like I'm actually kind of putting it together, which is something that's never been done, particularly with like the shrunken head type of thing. I actually formed it from a special clay that hardens and so forth, and I put the hair on and everything, and I painted it, and then I test it to make sure it works properly. And I'm thinking of the different moves and so forth. Yeah, so so that particular item, the floating shrunken head, really, really took a lot of time, and to get it just right and so forth, and the hidden gimmick that makes it float. I mean, it's a really unique item, and I don't think anything is like it on the market, like I said, for that particular item anyway. And then a few of the other ones are really old principles that I brought back to life. Because you know what, Joe, I've always read a lot. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many magic books I have, probably in the hundreds. And so I've read all the classics and so forth, from Tarbell to Greater Magic, to many of the old stuff as well as the new things. And so you'd be surprised what you can get that's so old that the principles are actually new, that people haven't actually seen it, in this current age.
Oh,
what I was going to say, Chuck, you kind of broke my heart now. I thought you said you were using real shrunken heads.
No.
Yeah, what was that? Wasn't that the Vincent Price shrunken head thing?
Oh, no, he uses apples, man.
Apples,
It send everybody rotten apples.
No, but I thought he was gonna. I thought, Chuck, you told me you went down to the South America somewhere, to the mountains there, and you got some real shrunken heads.
Yeah, to the Guevara. I think they're in Borneo and Sumatra. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to travel there.
I could see you in a safari hat and a machete going through the jungle looking for shrunken heads. I'm Chuck. I'm looking for shrunken heads for a magic trick. And what?
Oh man!
I'd end up being a shrunken head. I'd be worn around somebody's neck. There'd be a little Chuck head.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we go over there looking for Chuck, and we see somebody wearing a necklace. Well, that guy looks familiar.
That looks like Chuck.
Yeah. All right. So that's definitely some stuff to look forward to. So, hey, let's get into some some Christmas themed movies, TV shows, and shorts here, because we do have Christmas coming up, and I tell you what, it's the time of the season where a lot of people like myself like to sit down and revisit some of these Christmas classics, and there are some. I'm gonna tell you what, there are some obscure ones, and there are some definite classic ones, but we're gonna get into the more obscure ones a little bit later. But let's start off. Everyone has their own favorite Christmas classic. It's their go-to movie every year that they have to watch, one or 100 times every year during the season, maybe before Thanksgiving or right after it, leading up to New Year's or right after. So, I think everyone out there wants to hear what our favorite Christmas movies are. So I'm going to put Eddie on the spot first and let him talk about his favorite Christmas, whether it be a movie, a TV show, or a short. Let's hear it, Ed. What you got?
The one that I used to watch the most and I used to love was the Charlie Brown.
Oh, absolutely.
But then I followed that for many years with, of course, the Christmas Carol. And my favorite, though, I got to admit later on, became the Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Home Alone?
Yeah, the Christmas episode, because, I mean, the guys that play that are funny, man. Joe Pesci and the other guy, they're hilarious. And I actually enjoyed that. I thought John Candy was great in that film, and John Candy was one of my favorite actors. So I watched Home Alone probably for the last couple of years around that time. Charlie Brown was always obviously played, so you had, you grew up, and it was always kind of funny when he gets that one tree with the one ball.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, so yeah, those are my favorites. So go ahead, Joe.
Well, I got two of those Charlie Brown trees in my house that I think we bought them at Rite Aid or something like that. But we bought one a couple years ago, and the bulb broke, so we put a new bulb on it. And last year, my parents got us one, so I have one in my breezeway and one in the house. I mean, it's an iconic, tree. As soon as somebody sees it with the little blue scarf wrapped on, they're like, "Oh, Charlie Brown tree." So, yeah, absolutely. So, before we get into mine, though, Chuck, what's your favorite Christmas movie or TV show?
Well, I tell you what, it's a fairly contemporary one. I mean, it doesn't go back to the Jimmy Stewart days or anything, but I like A Christmas Story. I think it's with Peter Billingsley, and I tell you what, I like the humor in it. Like, I like the kid that got his tongue stuck to the frozen pool. I mean, it's some really, really cool stuff in there. I thought that movie's unbelievable, and it's only about 30 years old, I guess, somewhere around there. It's not
it came out in 83. Yeah.
83, okay, about 40 years old. Yeah, that's an excellent movie. Funny, man, funny.
Yeah, that is my number one go-to as well. Yeah, it came out in 1983, based on the 1966 book, In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash by Gene Shepard.
I got to correct something. That's what I meant. That's the movie I meant. I think I said A Christmas Carol.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
With you're going to shoot my eye out, with the
Yeah,
red right. That's the one.
It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. I love it when they go to the Chinese restaurant on Christmas. Is it Christmas Eve or is it Christmas Day? Oh, it's
Christmas
unbelievable.
Day, yeah, with
Funny,
the duck.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, man. The first time I seen that, I couldn't quit laughing. It was hilarious. And the only other movie that made me laugh like that, for some reason, My Cousin Vinny. Back when I first
Oh, my gosh.
You know what? When I first seen that movie, I couldn't stop laughing. I had a hard time even breathing. It was unbelievable.
Well, let me tell you something about a Christmas Story. Is that have you been up to the Christmas Story house, Chuck, up in Cleveland?
No, I'd love to go. I've never seen it.
Oh, we went back maybe about 8 years ago. We started going. We were going every year for about 4 or 5 years, and they have the Christmas Story house. So a few years back, a guy, I believe he was out from California, ended up buying the original house. He fixed it up. He started to produce the original leg lamp and selling them. He sells all different sizes and all that.
Okay.
But he really got into it. So he opened up the house. There's a museum right across the street from it, which houses a lot of artifacts and props from the movie. And he'll sometimes get some of the stars that are, still alive to come there and sign autographs and talk. And then right next to that is a gift shop. So they sell a lot of like Department 54 items for it. And they just picked up a few years ago, the license for Elf and National Lampoon's Vacation.
Ooh.
So they have all those items there as well. But it's really cool, and they have. I think it's open year round, but usually like around November, December, and January is their busy times. And the money that they receive in there from the tickets and, from your tickets going into the museum, it all goes into renovation of the whole area, because the if you could picture it, it's like almost like a horseshoe or like a three-sided square.
Right.
And the house sits at the top of it. And it's a kind of a more of a rundown type area. So I remember when we first started going about 8 years ago, it was really kind of derelict and run down. And man, I tell you what, they have put a ton of money into it, because it is absolutely beautiful. The roads are done nice. The sidewalks are all done. They've given money to people that live around there to fix up their houses, new siding and, fencing and everything. And it's, everybody in that whole neighborhood really gets into it. They decorate and everything, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I tell you what, you could go in the house and take pictures, and it's set up just like how you would see in the movie. There's a few differences that you'll notice from the house to the movie, because a lot of it they did on a set, and I believe it was Toronto, somewhere. Okay. I think it was Toronto where they actually filmed it on a set, but the outside of the house was filmed up in Cleveland, and they took some shots from the inside to redo the film setup in Toronto. So it's really cool. And I tell you what, I've got pictures on there. I've took pictures underneath the sink. You know how when what's his name was under the little brother Randy. Yeah. Remember when he was under the sink? Yeah. So I got pictures of me under the sink, and there's a leg lamp in the window, the Christmas tree, and all that stuff. And they got little kind of memorabilia stuff around the house from that time frame, and I tell you what, it's really cool. It's like you're going back in time up there.
I would like to check that out. Joe, I would really like to visit, strangely enough, the North Pole. I mean, like, not the real one, the one that's associated with Fairbanks, Alaska. That would be so cool to visit there. I mean, they celebrate Christmas 24/7 there, 365 days a year.
Oh, and, really?
Yeah. You know what? Check it out, Fairbanks, Alaska. My wife and I were talking about this a while back. So God willing, sometime in the future, I would really love to go there. Like especially around the holiday season, it would be so cool, man. They got little local neighborhood pubs and stuff, and it would be really neat. We're gonna go tomorrow night to a local place here in Pittsburgh called the Tipsy Elf. Now I have no idea what this is. It's supposed to be like a restaurant / bar, and it's all decked out for Christmas. So I'll take some pictures and I'll send them to you guys.
Absolutely. Maybe when you go there, you'll find an elf that's drunk.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be one there, especially out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, drunk.
Hey, Chuck, because you're around that area, and I know you've been to Craniacs.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I love Craniacs. I tell you what, I love Craniacs. We're supposed to go this Sunday up there.
Oh,
and I tell you what, we go every year. I think we missed 1 year about 3 years ago. Or no, I'm sorry, we were there, but we didn't get to walk through the Santa's land, because the day that we were there, the line was out the door and wrapped around the building, and we were saying, there's no way we're waiting in that. But I love Craniacs. I mean, usually we don't really buy anything from the store. Maybe if we see a gift or something for someone, but I tell you what, just walking through there is is really cool. All the different trees they have up.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely. As far as lines go, I'm there with you. I mean, there are certain haunted attractions around here. I mean, the line, sometimes you have to stand for like 2.5, 3 hours. I can't do that. I can't do that, up to that point anymore. But you do pay an extra fee. Now they got like a speed line where if you pay an extra $20, it's like a VIP type of thing in some of these haunted attractions where it'll take like 5 minutes to get up to the door. I mean,
that's what they need at Craniacs, because they're always packed, and I'm hoping Sunday that it's not a long line, but I like it. I really like I've been going there since probably early mid 80s or so. I remember going there every year, and going there for Easter too, because they would do the whole walkthrough, all decorated for Easter. And
what is this, Joe? What is it exactly?
It's a it's like a department store kind of, but it's just all. There's toys in there. There's candies, a lot of collectibles, and then they have one room where there's like a lot of like potted plants and everything, and then there's a little section of sports. a section of like kind of like old like rack toys, cap guns, stuff like that.
Right.
And then they have another section where it's really like higher end, like Disney and cartoon collectibles, Christmas collectibles, holiday collectibles, religious collectibles. And then their huge section is all Christmas decorations and all that. Anything you could think of, but they have a whole section. It's maybe about 100, maybe I don't know, maybe about 75 yards or so. And you walk through it, and they have, I don't know, what do they have, Chuck? Maybe 50 or 60 different trees in there that are decorated absolutely. All different, and
it's really cool. Yep.
Yeah, it's like each section is a different scene, but they all have all the different trees, and then you could, at the end of it, you could go, buy the ornaments, or you could buy the tree. It's really done really nice. They got music playing and everything. It's kind of like if you lived in Northeast Ohio, Western PA, that was kind of like your traditional holiday thing to do.
Yeah. There's another place called Trax Farm. It's off of Route 88, just outside of Pittsburgh, almost to Bentleyville. And it's, it's very similar. Like it's a big old farm, like around the Halloween, they have the pumpkin patches and everything. But you could go inside there, and it's all decorated for Christmas, and around Halloween time, it's all Halloween. I mean, it's a really cool place. It's like almost exactly what you described, but it's called Trax Farm. It's off of Route 88 near Bentleyville. If you're out this way, if you want to check something unique, that would be like another place for you to go.
I think I've heard of Trax Farm before. I think someone mentioned it to me during Halloween time, and I can't remember if I looked into it or not. But yeah, I have heard of it. And I tell you what's nice around this area, if you kind of get out into more like the farm countries, is that there's a lot of parks and farm areas that they decorate and allow people to drive through to see the lights and everything. And I tell you, it's really cool. We went a couple of weeks ago with some friends of ours out in Columbiana. They had their park all decorated, and you pay a little fee to drive through. And I think there was like 100 different lights in there, lighted decorations. And then there was one section what was really cool. We stopped. They had some farm animals, and then you go inside, and there had to be 200 different gingerbread houses that local kids did.
That's neat.
They would have like the kid's name and their grade, and I mean, some of these houses, like I'm like looking at it, and it's saying like Joe Smith, 2nd grade, and you're looking at this thing, and like there's no way, like you could tell his parents definitely did it, because they would be really intricate. And I'm like, man, these are really cool.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because if a kid that age really built that'd be like a prodigy,
Oh yeah, I mean, me and my wife got these Oreo ones that we're gonna do next week, and I'm like, man, mine's gonna probably come on and just look like a pile of stuff like on the sheet. A bunch of cookies, candies, and cream just in a big pile. I'll call it Christmas Mountain or something.
You know something, guys? There's now that you were saying all that about that, there's a place in Seattle. I think Guevara sent me the link. He's the artist for the book cover we're doing. He it's in Seattle, Washington, I believe, and it's a store. And I think this store is almost like a quarter of a mile in size inside. It's huge. And there's a virtual tour of the store, and you can actually see all the shelves and what's on the shelves. When you can go row by row in this tour. It's phenomenal. I gotta get the link and send it to you guys, and maybe post it on the podcast or the YouTube channel so people can get, because it's a sci-fi / everything store. It has books, comic books. It'll be like the perfect store, just like you were saying, that has old-fashioned toys and stuff. And it's from one individual's collection that collected for almost, I think, 30-something years. And he decided to like sell things off there. I'm not sure if you can visit the store in person. I think you have to go by appointment. But in case you guys don't know too, things like that, there is also in New York City, there is some type of magic place in New York City. It's like a store of some sort that has like almost every book ever published in magic and stuff. And you also have to go there by appointment. A lot of people don't know of these strange places that are out there, but they're really cool to visit and stuff. And you know what it is very few people who know that they exist.
Yeah, that's what's cool. You find a lot of these smaller places, because like a crane axe, it's only over in Western PA. Nowhere. I don't believe it's anywhere else, but it's been a a staple for this area for as long as I can remember. Like I said, back in the 80s, that was our, Christmas tradition, is that you go to Crane Action. Everybody went to Crane Action. If you didn't go there, you weren't cool. So but it's really cool. But yeah, I like seeing a lot of those different stores and stuff like that. But hey, I got something to tell you guys now about. I came across it it's probably been about 3 years now. I mention on here sometimes about the Monster Channel.
My robot plants?
Yeah. Take a drink. Yeah, you wish. If I find them, I'm holding on to them, man. But I found that I was watching the Monster Channel, and it's for anyone that doesn't know, it's a 24/7 free streaming site online, monsterchannel.com. A lot of horror, sci-fi stuff with all horror hosts. A lot of contemporary, some older, but the Bone Jangler had his little Christmas thing on, and every year when he does his Christmas episode, he plays all these old black and white. Some of them are color Christmas shorts. So I'm watching this one, and it was really well. Actually, there's two of them. Two of them I'm going to talk about, and I'll see if you guys have ever seen them, because they're kind of like musical ones, but they're very catchy, and one's really kind of, sweet and Christmassy, and the other one's just downright creepy. Like, I don't know how it fits into a Christmas or what kid would want to watch it, but the first one it's called Hard Rock, Coco and Joe from 1951. Have you guys ever heard of that one?
No.
Okay, so it's Hard Rock, Coco and Joe, the Three Little Dwarfs, and it's a 1951 stop motion animated cartoon. And it's a song, and it's these three little elves. So you have Hard Rock, who he drives Santa's sleigh. You have Coco, he navigates with the map. And then there's this little tiny elf, and he don't really do anything. But the premise is that, Santa loves him, so he brings him along with his friends. And they sing the song, I'm Hard Rock, I'm Coco. And when it comes to this little elf, he has this real deep bass voice. He goes, and I'm Joe. And it's absolutely hilarious. If you guys could find it, it's on YouTube. Hard Rock, Coco and Joe.
I'll check that out.
And it's very funny. It's really sweet and all that. It's a really nice Christmas one, especially for younger kids and all that. But you start watching it a few times, that jingle is gonna stay in your head, and you'll be sleeping and you'll be singing Hard Rock, Coco and Joe. And the second one is called Susie Snowflake from 1951. Have you guys ever heard of this one?
I don't believe so. No.
I heard the name. I don't remember.
So it's Susie Snowflake. She is this little, kind of think of like Tinkerbell, but as a snowflake, and it looks like a person and all that. And she's kind of floating through the air, and it's, I'm Susie Snowflake, and I'm coming to town, and it's a real catchy jingle and all that, and it's real cute. You look at it, you're like, oh, this nice little Susie Snowflake's flying around as the snow's coming in, and the children are, oh, look at Susie Snowflake. But if you look at Susie Snowflake, her face looks like an alien gray. She has just black eyes, and that's it, and this gray face and a long neck. Like, it looks like the little alien gray in this Tinkerbell outfit. It is creepy.
Wow.
Is it in black and white?
Yeah, it's in black and white from 1951. And the Norman Luboff Choir, they do the singing, and it's a catchy song. But look at it online. Look up Susie Snowflake. Look at a picture of her. It is downright creepy. It looks like an alien gray in a white dress with some snowflakes floating around the sky. It's absolutely creepy.
You know what you remind me, Joe? You remind me. I was reading an article about the Amish, and they make their dolls with no face. That's what you just reminded me.
I'm telling you, that's what if you find a still image of it, it's just black eyes, and that's it. There's you could see the indentation of a nose, but there's no nostrils, no mouth slit. It's just no hair or nothing. It is a creepy looking. It's a creepy looking figure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Susie Snowflake, and they're both of the shorts are 3 minutes long and very catchy jingles. Cool, vintage holiday shorts. But Susie Snowflake is you could look at it and you're like, oh, this is a sweet little, jingle, and she's floating around with the snowflakes. But if you actually look at her face, you're like, that's an alien.
That's an alien. I'll have to check that out. That's cool, man.
Yeah, and I tell you what else is cool too is I found last year, and you guys could find it on if you go to Monster Bash News, if you go to the Creepy Classics. I bought it from creepyclassics.com, but you can find it on Amazon too, and it's really cheap. It's only about $10 or so, and it's called Strange and Unusual Christmas Films. And it's from oldies.com. Alpha Video did it, so the quality's not, that good, if you're familiar with Alpha Video stuff. And I believe you can still find it on oldies.com if they're still around, but it's Strange and Unusual Christmas Films. And there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 films on there. They're shorts. They're only, some of them are about 10, 15 minutes, and they range from 1945 to 61. And they're some of them are very strange. Like, you're like, this is like a mixture of Christmas and horror in it. But, because they used a lot of the old costumes, old stop motion and all that. So some of it could get really kind of choppy and really downright strange. Some of them, you have A Christmas Dream. You have The Night Before Christmas. One of the ones that I really like, it's a live action one, The Little Match Girl from 1954. And it's a castle film about a little girl who's during Christmas trying to sell matchsticks and all that to make some money. Some of them are really nice and sweet for Christmas, and some are just downright creepy. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, Strange and Unusual Christmas Films. Yeah.
I can imagine, man, because if you see some of these old Halloween costumes when we grew up.
Chuck, you're pulling the magic set. We're hearing a double.
Let me get this lowered a little bit. Some of those old Halloween costumes that we grew up with, if you look at these pictures and even before our time, they're downright creepy,
Yeah, that's how these are. Like, you would see like a real skinny Santa with like a dirty Santa suit and a dirty beard. It looks like he just, rolled out of some alleyway or something and trying to pass out gifts. And you're like, what the heck is this? Kind of like, you remember the Santa Claus from Night of the Meek from the Twilight Zone?
I was just thinking about that with Art Carney. That was cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking
about kind of Santas like that.
I was thinking about it as you guys were talking about it too. Art Carney. That's the first thing came.
Yeah, I know it. I just watched that the other day too, Night of the Meek, because that's one of my other, staple Christmas shows that I always try to watch it, every year. And I tell you what, that's a fantastic show too. And it's that could get kind of creepy too, especially when you look at him now. Yeah, okay, maybe it was a little bit different back in that day, but could you picture today the skinny drunk Santa wandering around talking to kids and hugging them and all that?
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Hey, one thing I'm going to tell you, New Jersey and New York, I mean, I've never gone to it, but I think it's like downtown New York. There's a thing called SantaCon or something like that, where there's a bunch of Santa Claus that all do is drink and dress as Santa Claus. And they say that around the downtown, I mean, I've never been to it. I've seen some that come over to New Jersey through the Lincoln or Holland Tunnel, but I hear that it's hundreds of them. They're all dressed in Santa Claus and they drink, and it's called the SantaCon. So
they drink. That's hilarious.
So that's again, it keeps coming back to me, the Art Carney thing, because
I tell you what, the Night of the Meek was cool because it kind of really, it really kind of hits your heartstrings. You have this poor guy that, he's not just he's not just some drunk or anything. He's got some serious underlying issues of why he's drinking, and they're valid issues and all that. Maybe not to drink, but he does raise some valid issues. And then when he actually turns into Santa Claus with the bag, and what I thought was funny too is when the head of the department store goes to the police officer, and Art Carney's there as Santa, and he asks him for that old bottle of wine. He pulls it out, and he starts drinking it with the cop. And they're walking home. He's like, "Yeah, come on over for a drink."
That's hilarious. I love that kid. I love the kid in the department store. He goes, "Mom, Santa's loaded. Santa's."
Yeah.
I think that was one of the kids from Leave It to Beaver, if I'm not mistaken. I think he played Whitey, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're correct. But that's
why Santa's loaded.
No, that was hilarious, man.
You know
And
what's
that
funny
was
about that? You know what's funny about that too, guys? Is if you notice, when he takes everything he pulls out of the bag, it's a different toy and stuff. I swear that reminds me so much of Felix the Cat with the
yeah.
bag of tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always used to think of Felix the Cat when I used to watch that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder if they got the premise for what was that Bad or Santa with Billy Bob Thornton. I wonder if they got that premise of like a drunky sloshy Santa from that show Night of the Meek.
They
Oh, I'm
probably
sure.
did.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm
I mean,
sure. I
how,
tell you what, that was one of the few episodes of Twilight Zones I think that was actually used from a video recorder. You know what? It wasn't an actual film strip. There was only about maybe 10 episodes or so that were actually on a form of a videotape. Like you could tell, it just has that look to it. You know, that one had it. The used car dealer one where he couldn't lie. That was on a video tape also, and maybe about 6 or 7 other ones. It was somewhere around there. I think I read somewhere that Rod Serling said that the network wanted to save some money, so that's why they attempted to do that.
I tell you what, it worked though, because it kind of made it almost, I don't know, almost realistic, kind of like you were
Right.
almost like there walking with this guy and going through his life with him, and yeah, he was, a drunk and all that, but you could tell, he was a good soul, and you kind of,
Right.
felt bad for him
Oh,
because
you
he
felt
raised some
bad.
valid concerns,
Yeah.
but yeah, Santa's loaded.
Oh, that was hilarious. Wasn't there a pretty cool episode from Tales from the Crypt with the killer Santa where the kid let him into the house and he was a killer? If I'm
Yeah,
not
where
mistaken.
I think it was where he escaped from a mental asylum or something
Yep.
like that, and the kid
Yep.
let him in. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was really
Yep.
neat. And I think
But
the wife just murdered the husband, and so she was trying to hide his body at the same time.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that
that's
was
correct.
really cool.
Let me ask you guys a question. Isn't there one also in Creep Show? Or that's more like, I think Halloween is it? Oh, no. That's a Trick or Treat Elf. They kept knocking on the door and the lady says, "Go away, go away."
Trying to
Not-
think.
which was that? Was that on
Creep Show. On Creep Show, he would knock on the door and say, "Go away, go away," and it was like an evil type of creature that was knocking and going trick or treat, trick or treat. That was in Creep Show.
I don't remember that one.
I'm trying to remember. Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm in Christmas mode right now, so everything else is put in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there's definitely some cool. Oh man, what's the other one? There's Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's a cool slasher from the
Yeah.
80s.
That was cool.
And I tell you what, if you look at the department store in there, they have some. You can see a lot of cool 80s toys, on the shelves, and that's one of the parts that I always like.
Absolutely.
And then yeah, there's a ton of them. I always try to catch up on some good ones. I tell you what, my other favorite one, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
Yeah, that was good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. I mean, I could watch that over and over, man.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, Cousin Eddie, he makes that whole movie.
Oh,
Don't you go falling in love with that RV? We're gonna take it when we leave here next month. And I tell you what, there's probably one of the funniest lines in any movie. In that movie, where Clark, he's in the living room talking to Eddie, and he goes, "You surprised?" And he goes, "Eddie," he goes, "If I woke up with my head stitched to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised."
I remember that. That was hilarious. Didn't Beverly D'Angelo play the wife?
Yeah, she was the wife. Yeah,
right. I think they made a few of those, right? Didn't they make maybe 2 or 3 of them?
Yeah, they had the Vegas Vacation and then the regular Vacation. Yeah, and she was always the wife to him, and the kids changed a little bit through them, but yeah, they stayed the same. And Beverly, she was from Cleveland, Ohio, too.
Oh, okay.
Was she? I thought she was. Wow.
Yeah, she's from Cleveland. Yeah, I always had a crush on her every time I watched those movies when I was young.
You're not the only one, Joe. You're not the only one.
But yeah, what's that, Chuck?
I remember her from Hair way back in the was it the late 70s, where she played in the movie / musical Hair with Treat Williams. He played the kid with the real long hair and stuff. I don't know if you remember that or not, but she played the rich daughter that kind of had a crush on Treat Williams in there. And that goes back to about 1979, maybe 1980.
I don't think I've never seen that.
He wasn't born, Chuck.
Oh, you
Yeah,
were.
well, I wasn't born yet.
Well, you might have seen it in reruns, right?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I tell you another good one too. One of my favorites is Scrooged with Bill
Oh,
Murray.
I love it.
Oh, he's great. You know, when he goes, they're like, the antlers won't stay on the mouse. He's like, well, staple them to it.
Yeah, that was a very good movie. I love that one actor. He was a bit actor that froze to death in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right.
The guy that froze. Remember, I think he played in Bonnie and Clyde with.
Yeah, he was always like a little bit character actor. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he was the wino that lived in the what was it like under the sewer or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
you guys are failing me big time today, man. Nobody mentioned one of the funniest movies of all. Come on,
What's that?
the one with this guy. I forget. Now listen, this is so funny. It's a movie that the snowman that becomes alive. What do you call it?
Oh, is that Jack Frost?
Yeah, Jack Frost. That's hilarious, man. Jack Frost has got to be number one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
was
absolutely
cool.
hate that movie.
Why? I love it when the guy sees the snowman. He doesn't believe that the snowman's talking to him. And
Yeah.
he howls him down.
I don't like. I can't remember the actor for it, but I don't really care for him.
Was that oh, what's his name? He's from Pittsburgh. He slips my mind.
I know his name right now. I kind of have a
He
mental
played
block
he
on
played
him.
Beetlejuice, didn't he? That guy played
Yes,
Beetlejuice?
he played Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck's his name? Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
Joe, look him up in the computer there, man. You gotta tell our
Oh, Michael
listeners.
Keaton.
Yes, Michael Keaton. That's
Michael
right.
Keaton. Yep. Yeah,
And
he's
that's
from.
why you don't like him because of the actor, Joe. Because it's a funny film, man.
no, it's the not Michael Keaton.
No,
Which
it's not Michael Keaton. You're right. Michael Keaton's Batman, man. Come on.
which one am I thinking of? What the heck is his name? No, you're thinking of the that's the 19 or hold on. I'm trying to look up now.
Yeah, look it up. I'm confused.
No, it's the I think it's a newer Jack Frost than 1998 one. Is that the one you're talking about, Eddie? 1998?
Yes, the one. Yeah, that the snowman becomes alive. The wife is really pretty and sexy, and then the guy dies, and he comes back in the snowman because the kid is kind of sad because he never goes to his ball games or anything, and the guy comes back and the kid sees him, so he's a snowman. It's Jack Frost. That's the name of it.
I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. I can't remember the actor's name I thought he played Jack Frost on it. It's not the Michael Keaton one. It'll come to me probably when we're done recording. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it.
I think it is. I think it was Michael Keaton. Now I don't have a computer or anything next to me to look it up, but it's the one it's a snowman. He becomes alive. You know what you're talking about, Chuck? They give it every year.
I know which one. Yeah.
And then what happens is when the snowman, he doesn't realize he's a snowman, and he's like, oh no. He looks in the mirror and he's like really hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He comes back in the form after he's dead. He comes back in the form of a snowman. So he tries to talk to his best friend, and his best friend, when he sees him, he starts going and screaming. I think the guy's hilarious.
Oh, that was great.
So that's a really good film. I like that film.
Oh,
No, the one I'm thinking of. It's not Jack Frost. It was the Santa Claus 3, the Escape Clause, and it was Martin Short as Jack Frost.
Oh,
I didn't.
I don't like that film.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. I had him confused. Yeah, that's the one I didn't care for.
I remember that.
The first Santa Claus was great with Tim Allen. I think that's a classic. I absolutely love that movie. But the second one's not too bad. But the third one, something with Martin Short. I don't know what it is.
I can tell you right now, as critics for movies, us three just failed big time, man.
Yeah, really.
They're gonna bomb us out of the thing. I guess we should stick to magic and novelties, man.
How about a few of those old cartoons? Frosty the Snowman. Remember, it was narrated. It was narrated by Jimmy Durante. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that's
the day without a Santa Claus. The day without a Santa Claus.
The day without a Santa.
Yeah. Even all the Rankin Bass Christmas ones were great too, man. I love that. You can't go wrong with anything Rankin Bass puts out.
Oh, they're fantastic. Was that a form of claymation they used, or what was that actually? I have no idea.
I think there was some claymation, a lot of some puppetry as well. I think mostly. I want to say it was kind of like a maybe they use not clay but puppets and kind of
Mhm.
a stop motion. I never really got into the history too much of
Mhm.
Rankin Bass or anything like that.
Oh, but those were cool, man. All
Yeah,
through
I
my
mean, I
childhood.
grew up with. I remember watching those back in the early '80s and all that when I was
Mhm.
young, and those always stick with you. Yeah, Charlie Brown, and then even because I'm a child of the '80s, so I grew up with all those cartoons. GI Joe, He Man,
Right.
Glowworm, Flintstones, all that, and they all had Christmas episodes as well, and
Mhm.
they were all fantastic. I mean, a lot of them still hold up to this day. Even doing what
You know,
Star Wars had a Christmas episode, which some people don't like to talk about that one because it was kind of bad.
well, so did the Adams Family, which that episode actually sucks. The original Adams Family had a Christmas episode. I think the Monsters
The,
as well.
the Monsters had one, I believe, too. Yeah, I don't think it was that good.
No, but I got to tell you guys something. When you're talking about, there was David and Goliath. Do you remember that? We
Oh
used to
yeah,
play him a
Yep.
lot. David and Goliath, the little guy with the, what was it? The dog.
yeah, he had the dog. Yeah,
That's all claymation, wasn't it?
yeah, that was claymation. Yeah,
And my wife loved Gumby. I didn't really care for Gumby after that.
yeah. But I tell you what, though, I really been getting the last few years a lot of. I've been trying to find some very strange, cartoon or animation or even little shorts from that deal with Christmas, but from other countries. If you guys get a chance, it's called A Christmas Dream from 1945. It's a Czechoslovakian short film, and it's very very cool. It's about an unwanted rag doll on Christmas Eve, and it's pretty good. I mean, you really get it. I mean, some of these ones from other countries, you kind of got to take in consideration their culture and all that. They may seem kind of strange, but a
Right.
lot of them are really good, especially that came out in the 40s and 50s.
They are, but you know what? Sometimes that isn't. Where's the one that they call him Kraus? Chuck, I think you know about that. Where Santa Claus is supposed to be evil. Isn't that Germany?
Yeah. Is that Krampus type of thing?
Yeah, Krampus,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's another thing with Christmas.
There was one that came out. I'm gonna look it up real quick. There was a Krampus movie that came out a couple years ago. It was had some big names in
Yeah, I think I remember that.
2015. It came out.
Mhm.
I tell you what, it was pretty good. Adam Scott was the lead in it,
Yeah.
and you had a few other David Kocher, Ellison Tolman.
Right.
It had a pretty good cast, and I tell you what, it's very very spooky. Very,
Spooky.
I thought it was, there was the lady that played the grandmother. I'm gonna try to look up her name because she was absolutely fantastic. She had like a German or Dutch that she
Right.
spoke, and she was Krista. I think it was Krista. Yeah, Krista Stadler.
Mhm.
It looks like as Omi, and she only spoke German, and she was kind of like the one that told the stories about Krampus and all that. And I tell you what, if you guys never seen that 2015, it's a great movie, and it's
Yeah.
very scary.
I think my wife and I actually seen it when it came out at the theater. Yeah, it was very scary. Very cold, man. Like it
Yeah.
it put like a chill through your spine when you watched it. I mean, really, it was something.
I didn't like it. I
Really?
no, I didn't even care to watch it, to be honest with you.
I
I
thought it
feel
was
where
great.
it takes away from the Christmas theme as a whole.
Yeah.
So I kind of, because I know that's of Germany descent, I think it is,
Mhm.
and a lot of the UK and stuff. Because remember, not everybody keeps Christmas the same way we do here, and
No, that's true.
it's just like, you know what? Since I grew up and I enjoyed all the toys and stuff, I never really cared to watch that film when I heard about it.
Yeah, that's definitely a different different take on Christmas. But hey, guys, we got time's ran down here. We got less than 2 minutes, so
Wow.
we're gonna have to wrap it up. I tell you what, we've had there's been some discussion on some great Christmas movies here and all that. And definitely check out that Susie Snowflake from 1951. It's only 3 minutes. It's you can find it on YouTube, and then
I'm gonna check that out.
the Hard Rock, Coco, and Joe, the Three Little Dwarfs from 1951. That's also 3 minutes. And I tell you guys what, man, is that the songs, the little jingles, they will get stuck in your head, and you'll be laying in bed going, why did I even watch it? Because I'm singing it, but they're definitely worth a watch, and I would highly, highly recommend to anyone out there that wants to get into some very strange and unusual vintage Christmas shorts, whether it be their mixture of film, claymation, and animation, is check out. You could find it on Amazon or eBay or Creepy Classic Strange and Unusual Christmas Films. And there's 10 films on there. Usually they're anywhere from about 5 to 15 minutes, somewhere in between there. They're fairly short and from different countries as well. So you can definitely check them out. Or even if you don't want to buy it, you could find the list of it online, and you could find them on YouTube. They're usually all on there. Quality is usually not that good because I don't think anyone's ever put them in like a Blu-ray or 4K or anything like that. But definitely check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank everybody out there for listening. And join us next week because we are going to take a stroll down memory lane when we start talking about some of our favorite pastimes for Christmas. And I tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but I got some great stories from when I was young on some of the stuff me and my sister pulled trying to catch Santa Claus. So definitely join us there. So Eddie, Chuck, thanks a lot, and good night, guys.
All right.
Good night. God bless, guys. Bye-bye.